Hi boys and girls, welcome back. It's time for our Apple Blossom the Possum. We are on chapter 26, page 178. Remember, Apple Blossom was just put in the dresser by Izzy. So let's see what happens. Let's see if Apple Blossom can get out of the monster's house. Izzy asked to spend the rest of the day in her room, with the door closed for privacy. Her mom and dad say yes because an animal has died and it feels as if they've handled the situation poorly. At least that's what Izzy hears her parents whisper when they think she's out of earshot. Izzy arranges apple slices, cheddar cheese cubes, poppy seed crackers, roasted almonds on a teacup saucer and retreats behind the closed door. She shuts the curtains that frame her large bedroom window and then makes her way to the bureau. And very, very, very slowly, she opens the top drawer. The possum is sitting, legs crossed, waiting for her. She stares up at Izzy and smiles. It seems to be a shy smile, mixed with apprehension. Izzy gently reaches into the drawer, and the possum hobbles, with her one black boot, into Izzy's hands. Izzy brings the animal to her bed and places her on the comforter. She sets a saucer of food in front of her. The possum seems eager to try a piece of apple. The look on her face shows that it's delicious. She follows the fruit with a square of cheese, a poppy seed cracker, and then all of the almonds. And all the while, Izzy watches as happy as she's ever been. When she can no longer contain herself, Izzy whispers, "If my parents knew you were here, I don't think they'd be pleased." The possum leans her head on Izzy's leg. It feels to Izzy as if her heart will burst. She has a real pal. It is pure and simple as that. Izzy notices that her friend has soot on her back of her legs and in her ears. Is it from the chimney? Her neck has a ring of pink fur that smells like strawberries. Dry shampoo, Izzy decides. She leans close to the marsupial and whispers, "You need a bath." Izzy waits for the possum to finish everything on the saucer before carrying her into the bathroom. She fills the sink with warm water and gently removes the Paddington Bear jacket and the bonnet in the single boot. Izzy tries to make her voice reassuring as she carefully lowers the possum into the sink. "This is going to feel very warm and cozy. At least I hope so. Stay calm. A bath can be relaxing and even healing. You've been through a lot, but this should make you feel better." At first, Apple Blossom is afraid, but the warm water feels so good. It's as if she's floating on a moonlit cloud. She never knew that water could be this sweet. The pupil holds her thumb. Apple Blossom decides to show the little monster that she has a thumb too. She lifts out her arm of the water and shows her hand. Thumb up. She realizes that this must mean something to people because the monster looks very happy that they both have thumbs. Apple Blossom raises her other arm out of the soapy water and holds that thumb high. She watches as the little monster squeals in a way that seems happy. She can see it going well, so she lifts her feet out of the water, but it's a mistake. Apple Blossom starts to sink. Soapy water rushes into her ears, and when she closes her eyes, it pours into her nose. Her tail starts moving as she panics, but then two hands plunge into the water, and the little people shouts, "I got you!" In only seconds, Apple Blossom is wrapped in a small towel and held to the little monster's chest. "You're okay. I'm right here." What follows is a whole world of new experiences. The little monster grabs a red machine that is attached to the wall. She aims it at Apple Blossom, and it's like being in a windstorm, only a really warm one. Apple Blossom feels her fur go from wet to fluffy in a matter of seconds, and her body now smells like a field of flowers. She has never been this clean, and her tummy is very full. Apple Blossom knows she must find a way out of this place, but until that opportunity presents itself, she will act happy to be here. It's a performance that at the moment is easy to play. Chapter 27, 184. Boys and girls, we're on page 184. Antonio's restless. He tries hard to fall asleep, but for hours he tosses and turns in an empty flower pot, which is where he and Amlet have finally settled as a safe place for slumber. He forces himself to keep his eyes closed, but he can't turn off his mind. No matter how hard he tries to push away the thought, there is no getting around the fact that his sister is with monsters. How can Amlet be snoring? Antonio knows one thing. Mama Possum said, act from your heart. When night falls, he and Amulet will do the right thing. For now, he waits and counts the hours. Once the sun finally goes down, he presses his face close to Amulet. Wake up, he says. It looks to Antonio as if his brother more tightly shuts his eyes. So now he's louder. Amulet, you heard me. Wake up! Amulet rolls over and his tail slaps Antonio's leg. It doesn't seem like an accident, and so Antonio retaliates, which is when possums use your tail for revenge. He positions his tail and whip-snaps Amulet on the backside. The sleeping possum is now wide awake. Hey, what are you doing? He spins, and now Antonio is eye-to-eye with his brother. Don't pretend to sleep. I wasn't pretending. Yes, you were. Was not. Was too. It doesn't take long before the two possums are exchanging more than words. Amulet grabs Antonio's ear and pulls hard. Antonio squeezes Amulet's nose. Amulet jumps into the air and comes down hard on Antonio's tail. Antonio then leaps on Amulet's back, and the two possums spin around in a circle. The fight is on. Antonio grips his knees into Amulet's side and grabs a hold of Amulet's whiskers. He feels certain that Amulet will give up, but his brother is stubborn. He rolls out of the flower pot with Antonio still on his back, and he starts to run. He seems to hope that his brother will be thrown off by his speed, but it doesn't work out that way. Instead, Antonio releases Amulet's whiskers and wraps his arms around his brother's neck. He is now a possum cowboy. He raises his arm into the air and shouts, "Yeehaw!" He's not sure how he knows that this is what a cowboy says. In fact, he doesn't really even know what a cowboy is. Now, Amulet seems to be in a blind rage. He kicks up his back legs in an attempt to toss his brother to the ground, but it doesn't work. He darts from side to side, but that does nothing. Then he starts to run straight towards the edge of the gully. Mama Possum warned them not to go down there. At different times of the year, the water races through the middle of the crack in the earth, but Antonio holds on. He doesn't believe that Amulet truly intends to go over the edge. It's just a game of chicken. And then Amulet does the unthinkable. He runs straight over the embankment. Antonio releases his grip on his brother's neck, but it's too late. The two possums shoot out into the open air, and for a moment, in the free fall, they catch sight of each other. Their arms are spinning like windmills, and their tails are swirling like blades of an engine. Then they grab hands, scream, hit water, and submerge. It doesn't take long before they pop up, each safe in one piece. They move their arms and legs like they're running, but in water. And in no time, they pull themselves from the cold stream to the shoreline. They have survived. And more than that, thinks Antonio, it was strangely fun. Once they're in the muddy bank of the creek, they fall into each other's arms, hugging and laughing out of their minds to be alive and together. That was crazy, shrieks Amulet. I can't believe you didn't let go. Antonio sputters back. Well, I can't believe you ran off the edge. Antonio and his brother hook arms and start moving towards the safety of the tall bushes, when an animal suddenly emerges right in front of them. It's twice their size, with a long nose, a mop of long, dirty hair, and a large, piercing black eyes. The animal rears up on his back legs and towers over the two possum brothers. Antonio locks eyes with the beast, takes a sniff, and then whispers, Papa? Chapter 28, page 191. This possum is bigger than Mama Possum and not as nearly as well groomed. He has a big chunk missing from one of his ears, and as he opens his mouth to speak, the brothers can see two things: a spotted tongue and the space where two teeth are missing. They've never met their father, but the possums have a thing called instinct and a thing called smell, and this animal just smells like family. Papa! Who are you calling Papa? The imposing possum growls as he leans forward, prompting Antonio to wonder if he might attack. But it turns out the old marsupial is just moving in to get a better whiff. His nostrils flare and his eyebrows arch as if he takes in a deep breath. Whatever scent they give off wipes the scale off the big possum's face. Well. This is a surprise. A big, unexpected turn of events, says the possum. Antonio and Amulet both nod. They aren't certain what to think. This possum, who now can see, has long, dirty feet and matted, oily coat, appears to be sizing them up in a new way. You two are mine. I can smell that. Antonio and Amulet are relieved that he doesn't look like he's going to do something extreme, like try to eat them. Instead, their father lowers himself to the ground. I am known around these parts as Big Poss. Amulet finds his voice. So, is that what we should call you? Big Poss reaches out and grabs Amulet by the tail. He lifts him off the ground and swings him around in a circle. Of course! You call all possums. You of all possums should call me that. You got another idea, Furball? And with that, he lets go of Amulet, who flies through the air and lands hard. Big Poss leans over Amulet, and his hot breath makes a small cloud in the air as he asks, What do you answer to, small fry? The now bruised possum looks up from the ground. With wobbly voice, he says, My name is Amulet. One of Big Poss arms grips his belly, and he laughs. Amulet? Did your mother name you that? Amulet doesn't answer, but Antonio pipes up. We are allowed to figure out our own names. Mama Possum is Progressive. Big Poss eyes go wide. So she's progressive, is she? What's that makes you, little critter? The brainy baby? Antonio is quick to answer. We don't believe in labels or bullying. Big Poss bursts out laughing, but this time really hard. He grabs his stomach with both hands and he jiggles from the tip of his jagged ear to the end of his thumping tail. He drops to the ground and rubs his back against the dirt. Amulet and Antonio don't know if he's scratching an itch or purposely covering his fur with more mud or both. You young ones are a big surprise. So how you two ankle biters feel about shredding for scraps together? Amulet perks up. Shredding for scraps? But Antonio shakes his head. We're hungry, but we've got a problem more important right now than our appetite. Big Poss stares with a blank expression. Is that so? Antonio nods. Our sister's trapped in a monster's den. Instead of looking sympathetic, Big Poss is amused. How'd she get trapped? Amulet decides to stick to the basic facts. She was on top of the monster house and fell down a well. Big Poss runs his fingernails through the hair on top of his head, which causes the fur to fluff up. In a wild, interesting way, there aren't whales on top of monster houses. A well is a hole with water at the bottom. Amulet holds his ground. This was a big hole. I can't say if there was water below. Big Poss continues to work on his fur style. He runs a fingernail down the side of his scalp to form a part, and then he moves big mound of his mop forward. He's consumed with his grooming, but is able to answer, That's called a chimney. And right now I'm thinking your mama didn't give you an education in the practical side of theater of life. What's she doing when you were bitty babies? Amulet answers, Mama saved me from an owl attack. She taught us all kinds of important stuff. Big Poss doesn't sound impressed. Yeah. Is that so? So what's the most important thing in the world according to her? Amulet squeezes his eyes shut and forces himself to concentrate. They were taught so many things as performers. Mama said many times that they should never be afraid to make a fool of themselves by asking a question. Amulet's not sure how to say this, so he kicks Antonio in hopes that he will answer their father. Antonio's eyes meet his father's. The most important thing in the whole world is family. That's why we're going to help our sister. Big Poss spins around and gets right in Antonio's face. Even though his pointy teeth are broken and stained, they still look capable. Is that so? Antonio doesn't blink. Amulet doesn't move. Then Big Poss shouts, The wheel has come full circle. I am here. Family wins. He tucks and rolls and then pops out on his feet. Your critters are with Big Poss now. Follow and learn from a seasoned performer. Amulet sputters. But what about our sister? Big Poss shakes his body and bits of mud fly in all directions. Most of all, it hits Amulet Antonio. Well, we'll see what we can do about her. What's the squeak's name? Antonio wipes some of the mud from his arms. Apple Blossom. She's Apple Blossom the possum. Big Poss laughs again. Well, not following a script now. This is all ad-lib. He swings around and his hips sway from side to side. It takes a moment for Brother Possums to realize that their father is singing. Off we go, not fast, not slow. Looking high, looking low. We're on a road show. Off we move, nothing to prove. Looking high, looking low. We're on a road show. He clicks his tongue and somehow finds a way to clap his hands, all the while making tracks as he disappears into the hedge. Antonio and Amulet have no choice but to follow his muddy tail. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed Apple Blossom today. We will continue to read tomorrow.